Pentagon officials here in Washington already know who won that $35 billion tanker contract, but it looks like that announcement will remain secret until the very end. A huge disappointment for the Mobile aerospace community, the port city, and for EADS North America.
The Mobile Bay Bears looking to get back on the winning track tonight.
This is not just tar balls that have washed ashore. This is heavy, thick oil as far as the eye can see. But we are starting to see that storm surge come in here in Biloxi. We're only about 2 miles from Dolphin Island, and from what we can see, it looks all right now. There's no sheen, there's no oil. The Coast Guard has been out farther than that, but they say they haven't spotted anything either. Well, Devin, this is what we know right now. Mobile police say a suspect walked into this bank you see behind me here around 11 a.m. this morning and fired 2 shots into the ceiling, demanded cash, and took off. We wanted to put Goodson's idea to the test, so here we go. We got our water, we got our oil, and we've got our hay. Let's see what happens.
We poured in the oil, gave it a good stir, then in goes the hay.
It looks like the hay worked. It got most of the oil out of the water. There is still a little bit of sheen left. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Curth. Thanks for joining us. Mardi Gras season officially began today for the Gulf Coast with one of the most anticipated parades of the year. The Crew de la Dauphine rolled through Dolphin Island today. Cold day for a parade, but a warm-up could be right around the corner. For more on that, let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Owens in our First Alert Weather Center. The Gulf Coast seafood business is getting a much-needed boost from an unlikely source, the military. The oyster industry was hit especially hard following the oil spill. Millions in profits were lost and hundreds are still out of work. That was the main issue at this year's Oyster Industry Convention in New Orleans. And some oystermen turned BP cleanup workers have found themselves in the unemployment line once again here locally. BP laid off cleanup workers Friday. BP says the reduction in force is part of their commitment to have the beaches clean in time for spring break. The company says they will begin reducing visible manpower and equipment across Alabama's coast as they find appropriate. Small victory for casino workers. A bankruptcy judge in Fairfield has ruled that Bamaco Bingo owes its former workers $14 grand in unpaid wages. The ex-employee said they weren't paid in the weeks before the electronic bingo hall shut down. The casino then filed for bankruptcy in November. Electronic bingo casinos across the state shut down in fear of a raid by the anti-gambling task force. Another round of cuts are on the agenda for state colleges in Alabama, and that could mean higher tuition rates again this year. Well, we had an exclusive one-on-one interview with EADS North America today about the Pentagon's announcement and whether or not they will protest the Air Force's decision. EADS North America is still trying to figure out what went wrong.
Our initial reaction was certainly disappointment for ourselves, but also for Mobile. I mean, we have a strong partnership with Mobile and feel that very personally.
We sat down with the company's spokesman for an exclusive one-on-one interview just one day after the Pentagon announced Boeing beat EADS in their bid to build refueling tankers for the Air Force.
I think what we can tell you is Boeing was a clear winner.
We were the only local crew at the Pentagon when that announcement was made.
EADS was very confident that they had the better plane at the better price. Do you anticipate that they will protest? And if they do, what would that mean for the production timeline?
As I indicated, the unsuccessful offerer has the opportunity to pursue a protest if they think they have the grounds. We think we've put together a process that was fair, open, and transparent, and that does not provide grounds for a protest.
Will EADS protest this decision?
It's too premature to say. I mean, right now, first of all, we have to understand, how did the process unwind? Do we have any questions or concerns? And frankly, can we, we'd like to understand more completely, how the decision was arrived at.
While EADS won't say whether or not they will protest until after that debriefing, they do tell us they want to know why Boeing was the clear winner.
And my sources tell me that Pentagon debriefing will happen Monday. EADS will then have 10 days to decide whether or not they will protest the Air Force's decision to the Government Accountability Office. For now, reporting live from Washington, Kimberly Curth, News 5. Well, folks down here will tell you they never thought they would see anything worse than Hurricane Katrina, but they never expected to see an oil spill either. We talked with one bait shop owner who fears this catastrophe could do him in. Mac McRae's Pier and Bait Shop has taken a beating over the years thanks to hurricane after hurricane.
Katrina wiped him out.
Nothing was left except a few pilots gathered around.
But Mac was able to rebuild.
In about a week, you're gonna see all over the place.
This time, he doesn't think he'll be able to get back on his feet.
So I looked out and I said, you know, the weather's bad, it looks like a hurricane, but the thing about Katrina and all of them that were coming this way, I knew in 4 or 5 months I'd be back up and running.
Like a hurricane, Mac knows it's not a matter of if, but when the oil makes landfall.
I'm scheduled to have a boom around the pier, but when you have seas that are 2 to 3 feet, the boom is not going to do any good. And if they don't shut that valve off, I mean, this is beyond catastrophic. It's going to devastate so many people. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Generations and generations of fishermen, oystermen.
Do you think you're going to lose your business to this?
Oh, yes. And think about it, I have 3 large SBA loans that are drafted out of my account each month. And I don't know what, I don't want to go there because it's too tough.
The thought brings him to tears.
Get your fishing pole.
So for now, he's just going to enjoy the livelihood he loves so much while he still can. And Mac is not the only one who is worried. Just down the road in Heron Bay, you will find a similar story. Another bait shop owner who has had to rebuild his shop 4 times because of hurricanes. Now he is once again concerned for the future of his business. We will hear from him coming up tonight later in our show. For now, reporting live from Cedar Point, Kimberly Curth, News 5. Martha and Bruce Sorensen say their vacation to the Gulf Coast was ruined after filling up Sunday at this gas station on Dauphin Island Parkway.
I mean, we spent 2 days sitting in the hotel. We're basically hanging around here when we could have been out sightseeing. I've never been to Mobile before.
Well, we were going to be here for 4 whole days, and we sat in the hotel for 2 whole days without transportation.
At more than $4 a gallon, they filled up with premium and were on their way.
And as soon as I started the car and pulled out into traffic, the car started bucking really hard. It was hard to shift, and so it stalled.
But the Sorensens say that $61 purchase ended up costing them about $1,000.
They had to drain the tank, they had to refill the tank, clean it, refill it, change filters.
According to the Sorensens' repair bill, the fuel quality was tested and a large amount of water was found in the fuel. The Sorensens say this is a sample of that gas taken from their car.
There's water in the bottom of the bottle. This part is the water, and the rest of it's the gas.
When we were in the gas station, I held the sample and I said, I hope you're not buying premium gas here. And people's eyes, just open wide.
We went to the gas station and were confronted by a store clerk who was not happy to see our camera.
You're pumped too right here?
Wait, no.
Well, let me ask you this. They're saying that they got water in their tank.
No, we're resolving the problem. We don't need the news. We're not going to lose.
While at the station, we also found an inspector from the Alabama Department of Agriculture. He did not want to go on camera either, but confirms he was there to investigate whether water was in the fuel. An out-of-order sign was placed on some of the pumps. The gas station manager, who also would not go on camera, says they were ordered to do that by the inspector.
We'd like to be reimbursed for, technically it was over $900 for, this water and the fuel problem. And we think we should be reimbursed for that.
I talked with the State Department of Agriculture. Stedman Hollis tells me the inspector did find a small trace of water today in the premium gas, but says it was nothing that was out of the ordinary. And he says the out-of-order signs that you saw on the pumps were removed because all the pumps were in compliance. The tanks were not tested this weekend. He says they will keep an eye on this gas station. And there's good news to report. After talking with News 5, the gas station manager tells me they will reimburse the Sorensens for their expensive repair bill.